Hey, Board Gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back in the Gumbo Pot this time. Another unboxing. We're taking a look at a brand new expansion for Xylotar. Awesome trick-taking game from Chris Ray, designer Chris Ray. It's published by Bezier Games, who sent us this review copy. It's actually two expansions in one. Let's get right to the table and see what's inside this box. If you haven't played Xylotar before, you should get Xylotar before you get this one. This is a review copy. Thanks to Bezier for sending this to us. Chris Ray's been on Gumbo Live a million times. We love interviewing him. He's part of that trick-taking guild on BGG, does the trick-taking awards every year. Chris loves card games and has designed many of them. One of those is Xylotar, one of my favorite card games that have come out in the last couple of years. It's loosely got a music theme. I know Chris is really trying on it. It's loosely got a music theme, and basically it's sort of like Hanabi, but a trick-taking version of it, where you have cards that are hidden out, and you're trying to figure out what cards are in there. You know how they are because they're in a row from lowest to highest, but you know exactly what the values are. But as you play, you're going to start figuring out, you're going to use deductive skills to figure out where they are and to try to win the tricks. First, it's all about figuring out how many tricks you're going to win. And there's a cool mechanic to that, because it's not just, I think I can get 3 tricks this round. Got to use cards to get to there and then hitting that mark. So Xylotar Unhinged is a game that's coming out this year. I believe it's in retail already. If not, it will definitely be out for Gen Con. After Xylotar, the card game became a huge hit in 2024, and the conceit of this game is that this polar bear discovers this 1980s instrument, a xylophone, and a guitar smashed together. And that's what that is. Bobby McColdsnap has morphed into a fairy tale even more compelling than Rebel Princess. Another great game from Bezier Games. Okay, so we've got two different what do you call them, expansions. One of them is going to be off key, which is where Chris has included penalty notes that you don't want to get because you're trying to avoid those so you don't lose points, I guess, when getting tricks. And then the other one is, I should have got my knife. Been so good lately on our unboxings having the knife ready, but not this time. And the other one is called bonus beats with 20 new asymmetric card effects. Ooh, Jared and I love asymmetric card play. Okay, so if you've played Xylotar before, you'll kind of recognize how it uses this interesting style of card. These little thin cards. And as you drape them out, they'll look sort of like music notes like this, And you can tell from the colors and from the numbers and from the symbols, 3 different ways, depending on, what your color blindness is. You can focus on that. You know that these cards here are going to be somewhere between a value of 0 to 8, while the pink ones are only going to be 0 to 3. And your partner is going to number those. So in the box, they've got all these new cards. These are the back sides of them. That's how we can tell, that's the side that we're going to see when we lay them out. We won't know what's on the other side of them. And in this case, we've got some interesting new cards here. So we've got some halves to kind of fit in between the cards, okay? And then we've got these other cards. So let's take a look real quick. Anything else in the box? Sometimes they like to hide things, but nope. It's everything there. So we've got some score sheets. Okay. Some included score sheets. And there's going to be the Unhinged Tour at the Columbus Convention Center. So apparently, you could have gotten your preview copy right there at Origins if you went to the Columbus Convention Center in June. I was not able to go. That's kind of cool. It looks like a little ticket, like Bobby McColdsnap is on the tour. All right, so we've got these interesting little cards here, and that is off key. You'll guess you don't want those because you're going to get some kind of bad thing. We're trying to find it in here. When you're playing with off-key cards, you're taking out 1 card of each color after shuffling. You might be taking an off-key card out of the deck. After shuffling the cards, remove 1 of each color. Don't forget to add in cards removed from the deck previously. They're 1/2 less than the highest card that is normally in each color. So like the red one is 9.5 instead of 10, even though so you might have thought it was a 10, but it's actually 9.5. When bidding, if a card you secretly view as a half card, you use it as your bid. That's the cool mechanic of how you're going to bid to win. How many tricks you're going to win? You're going to actually use one of your cards as that bid. So when you flip the 2 cards over, you're going to choose one of those. So you're kind of limited into what your bids are. You want to, if you want to kind of wait as you get closer to the end to try to find a bid that's going to match what your tricks are. But maybe you want to do it the opposite. You want to do it early and then try to work toward that bid. But if a bid you secretly view as a half card and use it as your bid, it's the number on the card. For instance, a 2.5 card is really a 2 for bid. Okay. But each half card you have won in any tricks reduces your score by a point. Okay, so negative effect cards here. Kind of cool. This will be an interesting one. It's just 8 cards to add. And then, of course, we have the bonus beats cards, and that's where all of these cards are going to, players may use one of their bonus beats cards each round. The 2 cards dealt to each player at the start of the game are all they will get. So you're not going to use a card every round. You're going to have to try to figure out the best time to play it. And of course, like any good Bezier game that Ted Alspach has his hand in, we've got a million different ways to affect the game with these little cards. For instance, we've got, after your bid, get your bonus even if you're 1 over your bid. A little protection there. Interesting. Get your bonus even if you're 1 under your bid. So 1 over and 1 under. We got flats and sharps. That makes thematic sense. Before you play your first card, replace your rightmost card with this one, which can be played instead of the lead suit. Okay, so yeah, we've got, as you can see, these are going to kind of affect how you play. Replace your leftmost card with this one instead. View any 2 of your cards. So you can kind of remember that Hanabi mechanic. You're playing where someone else knows what your cards are, but you don't know what they are. So that's some interesting ways. So you can mix and match the expansions. We're definitely going to try those out. We're big fans of Xylotar here in the Gumbo. So I know Doug and I are excited, and Logan are excited about getting this one played. So we're going to see if we can get that played pretty soon, maybe even on the channel. All right, so that is everything that comes in this tiny little box, Xylotar Unhinged, by our friend Chris Ray and published from Bezier Games. Thanks, Bezier, for sending us this review copy. We'll try to get that played on our Twitch Tuesdays channel. That's right, Twitch Tuesdays, twitch.tv/BoardGameGumbo, where we play your games live on TV. You never know. We just might play Xylotar on there with the Unhinged expansion. But until next time, c'est le bon temps roulé.